Just like it happened with our ancient forefathers that we're reading about. Polycarp, the head of the church in Smyrna, which we're reading about, again, he was put to death. And the next verse went into, like, when you're thrown into prison, when that happens to you, just keep the testimony. Because he clearly said, look at your bishop, what happened? It's going to happen to you too. And again, we extrapolate that and look at today. Because it's a reason why he wrote these letters to these churches, but it's still written for us to understand today. The scriptures say, all things are written aforetime for our learning. All right, so the same attributes these churches might have had, the same things that was told to these different churches, we have to receive it like we're those churches. Because we could have been some of those guys that were in some of those churches back then. You got it, Elder. All right.
I'm going to read verse 10 again. It says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life.
That's right. If somebody could pull up Sirach, I believe, is it Sirach 4:28? My man, the water. Be thou faithful unto death. Again, Polycarp was faithful unto death. So you think back at that, it doesn't say Polycarp in the scriptures, but when you research that church, Polycarp was put to death by those Israelites back then. He was persecuted by Jake. They had power to throw him in prison, went to different governors. That actually took place.
So he was the head of the church in what, Smyrna?
In Smyrna.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So it's a reason why Yahweh Shah stated that. You're going to be thrown in prison, and they mentioned the synagogue right before it. Because a lot of times, even when Peter and John was on trial, after they healed that pretty much man with that issue, he couldn't walk, that lame man, they was brought to the Sanhedrin.
It's crazy because Smyrna, when I was doing the research on myrrh and bitter, it means it goes to bitter.
Bitter. Exactly.
And that was bitter. That was a bitter time.
Yep. And this was actually a very small city too. Yeah. It didn't really have too much influence throughout Asia Minor. But they were still on fire for the word. It was more so a smaller camp. Right. How you look at it. You know what I'm saying? A smaller camp that was known though. It made me think like the Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? They a known camp. It's small, but it's still like a high powered camp.
Even like Smyrna, that's the spirit because I was researching that. Me and the brother Yashimoth was going into some research on it. It's like that was considered like Smyrna and Ephesus was pretty much competing to be like the head city of Asia Minor at that time. So you can just imagine like of all the BS and the idolatry that was taking place at that time, just kind of like how Corinth was, just seeing everything, man, bro. Yeah. It was a lot of stuff going on, man. Like just imagine Las Vegas or something like that.
It's like the Nicolaitans we was just talking about, man. Trying to infiltrate and spread some false doctrines.
Yep. Crazy.
Get our people to eat foods that sacrifice in the idols.
Yeah, that's right.
But I got this for you.
God.
In Sirach 4:28, it says, strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee.
Strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee. All right, now we understand it's easier said than done. You know what I'm saying? We could all be like, man, strive for the truth, for the death, and you good. But when you put in that situation, it really takes faith and belief.
Yep.
When you're really faced with the reality that you could get put to death in a very gruesome way for the testimony of Yahweh Shai, that should really strike fear in your heart to fear the Lord. Not the people that do it, but the fear of the Lord, man. And that these men believed. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, Esau getting ready to crack down, bro.
Yeah, he mad.
He mad, bro.
Just like Yahweh Shah told his disciples in Luke 21.
Right.
Can I get a little piece of this?
Baba Kashah.
And then we could go back. I don't want to segue off too much. This is St. Luke 21 and 12. It says, but before all these, they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and into prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake, and they shall turn to you for a testimony.
Right. That's right.
You go into the word testimony, it goes into the word being a martyr. So just for having this truth, hey, that is a big potential that you could end up being put to death for this truth.
Right.
Now we know the scripture says that some men ain't gonna see death till they see the kingdom of heaven, but it's gonna be some men that gonna have to actually strive into death.
That's right. And yeah, beautiful point. Because you got a lot of these guys in these other camps that don't know what the hell they asking for. Going to these different places in front of CNN and trying to make themselves known to Esau. In their minds, it's a mighty work. But they don't see the weight and the gravity because they haven't been really persecuted yet. They don't really see. That's why it makes me think about James and John when the mother, that's the spirit. Might as well pull it.
On your back, man.
Con. Because they really ain't thinking about that when James and John's mother asked Yahushua saying, can one of my sitting on thy right and sit on thy left? And Yahushua said, you know not what ye ask for. He said, for it ain't up to me, for it's up to my Father. If you're willing to drink, matter of fact, if you got it, let's get it. Because these other guys don't know how Esau's getting ready to come. They think their physical guns are going to be enough, and they think the spirit of the Lord is going to be with them when they try to go guns blazes, guns and roses, man. It don't work out like that, bro. They ain't been persecuted, bro. They ain't had a guillotine in front of them, man. But they out there trying to make themselves known. They don't understand the weight of it, man. They don't know what the hell they asking for, bro. Mm-hmm. And it's really, at the end of the day, we understand that it's part of the story and it was written and it was ultimately meant for the great men, the men of understanding, the men of great millstone to be revealed. We understand, but we still look at it as, man, these jakes don't know what the hell they asking for, man. Mm-hmm. You got it.
That's why it's important, even us, even us within Great Millstone to really, really sit down and meditate and really think about what we are part of and what what we were a part of, man. Because we're not exempt to, like Elder Ashalama always says it, man. Like some of us, any of us can possibly die, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And be tortured, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? It's just like Elder Yatazak be saying. I pray that Yahweh Shem Yahushua keeps the spirit on me, the same fervency that I have now, and even much more in that day, man. Mm-hmm. That's a spirit that we got to continue to pray for. But,
right, because you see these different churches that are written, and as many great attributes that was added to them, Yahweh still said, I have this against thee. And these are known churches. These were churches, man, that was written in Revelation. I still got this against you. So how much more can you look at yourself and be like, man, if you're saying I got this against me from this church that's written of, man, I got to make sure I'm doing what I need to be doing in the spirit. Because
he's spiritually talking to you.
He's talking to you.
Churches, This is Mark chapter 10. I'll start at verse 35 and read down. It says, and James and John, the sons of Zebedee, came unto him, saying, Master, we would that thou shouldest do for us whatsoever we shall desire. And he said unto them, what would ye that I should do for you? They said unto him, grant unto us that we may sit one on thy right hand and the other on thy left hand.
Yeah, so they like, man, hey, we want to be great, man, with you. In the kingdom, we want to be great with you, man. We want to sit alongside with you. Go ahead.
It says, in thy glory.
In thy glory. So they was like, man, we want to be on a level with you. Go ahead.
It says, but Yahushua said unto them, ye know not what ye ask. Mm-hmm. Can ye drink of the cup that I drink of?
And what is that cup going into? Persecution. Exactly. All right? Because when you really sit back and think about how Yahushua was persecuted, man, a lot of times you'll say something, you on fire. Yeah. But when that stuff starts hitting, shit, this is real, man.
Hey,
like it's real.
Because if I can say this, Yahushua even prayed to the Lord to take that cup away.
Yeah. Beautiful point.
Asked to take.
That's a beautiful point.
We don't know what spirit we're going to be operating in when that persecution hit down. So
right.
We just got to pray daily that the Lord going to have the right spirit on us.
That's right.
Oh, God, think, man, Peter told the Lord, I'll die for you. I'll kill for you, man. I'm here for you. There ain't nobody finna take you. What happened, man? Yahushua told Peter, man, look, you going to deny me 3 times before the cock crowed.
Yeah.
I would say, but if he wouldn't have denied him, he wouldn't have been the head of the church.
Exactly.
So it balanced itself out.
That's
right.
You
know what I'm saying?
That's right. And you could even equate this within things that you ask for from the Lord, man. I want to have endurance. I want to have faith. You go into this all the time. Mm-hmm. I want to have faith. But he's going to put you in that position where your faith is going to be tried. Yep. And that's part of the lower level of the cup that's going to be drinking. That's not even including the physical persecution of what is to come. So he's saying you don't even know what you're asking for.
Yep. It says, continuing on, it says, ye know not what ye ask. Can ye drink of the cup that I drink of, and be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with?
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's that purification process, man. That's that fire.
Trial, yep.
That's that trial. And he said, if you want to be considered as great, the great with me on that level, you're going to have to go through a high level of persecution, the baptism that I'm baptized with. And Yahushua, we all know how he was persecuted. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy when you go into, we was talking about James before, And James, to a degree, fulfilled. He could die with the sword.
It's the precept is in there.
That
Acts 12.
That's in there. That's the spirit. And we just read Acts 12 earlier. And also, too, you look at John. When you research John, and it's also, I believe it's in the Josephus as well. When you research John, John was actually put on trial to be put to death. All right. They had a pot of oil that was boiling. And he actually stood up there and they pushed him into that pot of oil. And through the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah, a miracle happened where he wasn't burned. He was supposed to get put to death. But he wasn't burned. He didn't feel no burn. That's why they threw him in the island of Patmos in prison. Because they couldn't kill him. And it was ultimately meant for him to have this revelation. That's why. So they both were pretty much put to that trial process. And John came out of it. He believed. Got thrown into the cauldron and came out unscratched. You know? And that shows you too, just as a footnote, hey man, the Lord can intervene at any time. If we really fully believe and keep the faith like those men did, whether in death, or he can get to the point where he's going to intervene and still keep you alive. It's for his purpose, because we ultimately see John's purpose while he was kept alive, because he written his last book. You know?
Yep.
It wasn't given to anybody else to write this. He was the last of the 12 apostles that lived. John, when you read about this in Revelation, when he wrote these letters to these churches, this was approximately around 95 AD. So this is 25 years after Jerusalem was sieged. This was way after his brother James passed away. John was old as hell when he received this revelation. He was the last of them to stay alive. He was the only one that didn't get persecuted unto death out of the 12.
Yahweh's favorite.
That's Yahweh's favorite.
Yeah, and it's crazy, man, because you got these scoffers, man, like that's over here talking about that scripture in Revelations 10, how it says that he will prophesy again before many kings and nations. Mm-hmm. Of course, showing reincarnation. You got these scoffers talking about, well, John, he did that. Like, bro,
he said he was gonna come back,
bro. Like, no, he did not.
Right.
And then even too with Polycarp, what you're saying, it was when you research Polycarp, because we was talking about him earlier, when he got thrown into that brazen, I believe it was like a brazen calf, I believe it was.
No, you talking about Antipas.
Oh, Salakio.
Yeah, that's Antipas.
My bad.
You putting all the secrets out, Ak. I wasn't ready for that yet. No, I'm playing, bro. I'm just messing with you.
Nah, I'll tell you on here.
You good, bro.
Mark 10:39 says, and they said unto him, we can. And Yahweh said unto them, ye shall indeed drink of the cup that I drink of, and with the baptism that I am baptized withal shall ye be baptized.
And that's what we all agreed to when we came on the other side. Yep. You know, we said we can do it. You know, and hey, Lord willing, we all able to endure. But he talks about, okay, you talk about it, you're gonna have to be about it. And that time is coming, boy, right, when Esau is getting ready to come down as a flood. Hey, man, we already had the victory through Yahweh Shai Mashiach, but we got to make sure that we keep that crown on our head, man, that spiritual crown, because Esau's finna try to come with great wrath. That flood, we see brothers on the news and everything. It's only a matter of time before they actually try to come and get us. It's only a matter of time, man. For real.
It's going to be a hard victory, like one of them games where brothers go through all types of injuries and stuff.
Yeah.
But we're going to win at the end.
That's
but
right.
Like it says in Matthew the 7th chapter, we got to go through the straight gate.
That's
position of difficulty to get the victory.
That's right.